Okay, we are on. So welcome to the Acap webinar. I'd like to just start with a few introductory slides to let you know that that we are Acap. And welcome to tonight's webinar, which is about training long-term care and migrant care workers, and can older persons rely on quality care? We have our fabulous moderator, Kasorn, and three speakers, Tribhuti, Shun, and Takeo. Okay. So just a reminder, Acap stands for the Active Aging Consortium Asia Pacific, and our mission is to share friendship and best practices for active aging. Here's some photos of us at various conferences, but really what we want to do is learn from each other. It's a free organization and everyone can join just by sending their email address to me. So as you know, we have the bi-monthly bulletin, and it's really great to get your stories and your photos. So please send photos and stories. The next deadline is May 15th. And Rob is our editor putting it together. Thank you very much, Rob, for all your hard work on this. And we're also featuring a webinar series. We had one last year in 2020, and we're going to have another one in 2021. And this is the first. We're looking at long-term care, quality long-term care. In May, we have one on gero technology. And in June, we have one on the voice of older people. And we have some other topics that we're working on: digital aging, active aging in songs and poetry, intergenerational bonding and activity. And these are coming up in the future. But the next one is on gero technology. So just to announce it now, it will be May 27th. And the time is in Hong Kong time, 4 in the afternoon, 4 to 5:30, and a wealth of speakers. So we are so excited about gero technology, including speakers from the Netherlands who are active in the International Gero Technology Association, along with speakers from Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Taiwan.
Can you please share? Cannot see your.
It's not sharing?
Yeah, did not share it.
Well, I thought I was sharing this whole time.
Sorry, first slide and it's gone.
Also tell everybody to mute
Okay,
their mic.
Yeah, and also if you don't mind, please mute yourself so that we don't get a lot of background noise. Well, I'm so sorry. Here's these wonderful slides that you missed. The Acap bulletin, our webinar topics coming up. And this is the slide for the next webinar on gero technology. You can see we have speakers from the Netherlands and Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Taiwan. So the speakers from the Netherlands will give an international perspective on gero technology. So I know that the cases are rising everywhere with COVID, and I just want to have a message to stay safe, and it's not over. In the United States, I think a lot of people are acting like it's over, and our numbers are going up, and I see numbers going up in Thailand, in India. I'm very concerned in Europe. So please stay safe, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, avoid the crowds, and get your vaccine as soon as you can. I know supply is not perfect, but just my public health message here. And the last slide is just to welcome you to join Acap. And if you have friends that are interested in joining, please also give them my email address and join with our happy group of people, happy group of gerontologists across the region. So now I'd like to introduce our moderator, Professor Kasorn, and she is Professor of Public Health at Thammasat University in Thailand. So I'm going to stop sharing. And Kasorn, you're up.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Catherine, for your very warm welcome and very kind introductions. And good morning, everyone. It is 11 o'clock in Bangkok, and I am now in Bangkok. So I'm very pleased to be here with you. And it is my great pleasure to be a moderator for today. Yeah, I'm quite sure that Catherine selects someone is quite beautiful to be a moderator. Look at the moderator next session. Teresa, she's so very beautiful. Yeah, so today we are going to talk about, as Catherine says, about the training of long-term care and migrants care workers. Can older person rely on quality of care? And our three speakers today, I know that you have known them very well, but it's kind of the thing that I make it a little bit formal. So I would like to introduce them to you for each person. And just before I introduce them, I would like to talk a little bit about long-term care. As you already know that long-term care is needed for our world today. And many countries become aged society. Some country is super aged society. So long-term care involved in a variety of services designed to meet the needs of a persons. Although the long-term care is not just for the elder people, it's for everyone in some stage of life. But for the older people, they are really needed to maintain quality of life. So today we are going to talk how can we have a quality of care. In particularly this time we have challenges, big challenge around the world about the COVID-19, something that we have done in the past and in the future that we plan to do. How can we tackle with that? Maybe we have to change something, we have to think about something, maybe we have to look at something that we have now and need to change or whatever. And maybe the policy and many factors have to change or adjust so that we can meet the needs of the quality of care for the people. So today our speaker will bring to you in many dimensions as the quality of long-term care is not just for the care worker, not just for the employers or the training course, it's about everything. So our three professors today will actually, I know that they have carried out many studies in the past until now. But as I said, that is about the new normal era. Let's hear from them what they're going to do for the next step or what they have done and what they bring to us today. Let me start for the first speakers. The first speaker, Professor Chung Ono. Yeah, let me talk about his CV a little bit. He is currently work as a professor of the Department of Global Citizen Studies, Saizen University in Tokyo. And he also adjunct professor of the Office of Public Health Studies, University of Hawaii at Manoa. He published many books in Japan and in English. He also has done a lot of research around the topic of the elderly. So just after the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, he has been working as a leader of Kyoto University-based research project called Transformations of the Awareness and Practice of Care in Japan during the global spread of COVID-19, a focus on foreign nurses and care workers. So today, Chung will bring to us the care migrants being diversified in Japan, a focus on their works and awareness during the COVID-19 pandemic. So how are you, Professor Ono? Are you ready to share with us your experience, your amazing study? So please welcome Professor Ono.
Thank you very much and very nice introduction myself, Kaison. And could you see my slide? I would like to share my slides. And I'm very happy to present my study topics. And okay, can you see? All right, okay. I'm going to talk about care migrant being diverse in Japan, focus on their work and awareness during the COVID-19 pandemic. As introduced, I'm a professor of State University, but I hope I'm still affiliated with Catherine's Office of Public Health Studies, so UH, because I stayed in Hawaii until last month for 3 months. But maybe my study in Hawaii will be discussed in the future Acap meeting, I hope. Yes, I just speak about overview of my studies and our research teams. Cluster infection in COVID-19 is occurring in many elderly care facilities, hospitals all over Japan for last year. And Japan is facing the so-called fourth wave currently. So still many clusters happening in care facilities. In those facilities, many migrant workers, especially from mainland, from South Asian countries, working. So our research team look at the change, their care practices, and their awareness, and due to the spread of COVID, and we are looking at the difference in their attitudes with Japanese colleagues and the pandemic crisis. In the care sector of Japan, labor shortage is so serious, and the growing trend of depend on the overseas care staff. However, pandemic has changed and a big impact on the management of many care facilities and might impact on their employment of Japanese and foreigners as well. This graph shows the transition of the number of foreign residents. Foreign resident means that staying over 3 months or more in Japan. So if you look at this, the number of foreign residents in Japan is increasing, steadily increasing for the last 10 years. However, the last year, the number was a little bit decreased, maybe because of a pandemic. Newcomers cannot come in Japan, and also some foreigners return back to their home country for maybe safeties or termination of the contract. So currently, foreign residents in Japan is around 2.9 million. And this is a transition of the number of so-called top 5 ethnic groups in Japan. Biggest ethnic group is Chinese, but even the Chinese was also declining the last year. And Koreans, Filipinos, Brazilians almost steadily, a little bit decreased for Koreans, but the number of Vietnamese is still increasing even next year. Maybe still newcomer, especially technical intern trainees is coming in Japan, and also many technical interns cannot go back to their country because of closure of borders. And as you may know, that the Vietnam is also good performance in terms of preventing infection. So that's why that still limited moving between Japan and Vietnam. This is a prospect of the supply and the demand of care work in Japan. And Japan is a super aged society. And we can see around 0.2 million shortage for care workers. 2020, 2025, it will be double, 0.4 million shortage. So that's why that the Japanese government decided to introduce more care migrants, especially from neighboring countries. And as you may know, Japan is accepting care workers from Vietnam and Indonesia and the Philippines under EPA and the Economic Partnership Agreements, G2Z agreement for last 20 years. And the total number of so-called candidates who already entered Japan is more than 5,000. And part of them already passed the exam, national exam for and become certified care workers, but some failed and returned back their homes. And the Japanese government also established a new visa category, so-called nursing care, and also technical care, technical intern trainings in care sectors, and also very new care visa categories, specified skilled workers. The nursing care, more than 6,400 already entered Japan. In technical training scheme in care sectors, around 9,000 already entered Japan. And specified skilled workers, Japan was made very ambitious plan to accept up to 60,000 those workers in the next 5 years. However, it's only over 900 people working at the end of the last year because of many reasons, and the pandemic is also one biggest reason. And so this is just photos because we visit several care facilities even under pandemic with special permission from our very friendly managers, approvals, and very careful to approach to care workers and also elderly people in these places. And so these places were in Fukuoka. And this last October was not so very serious situations in Fukuoka, quite limited number of new cases. So that's why this, but of course, visas are basically entry bans, and elderly people should have taking masks, and also some plastic distinctions and also placed. And also family members requested to approach those people for a short time or just communicate by online like this. And the right side woman is Filipino care workers, EPA certified care workers. And I visit also some other care facilities in Canton regions. And we can see some employment hierarchy of migrant care workers at some ethnic care facilities. For example, in this case, 3 Vietnamese who already obtained certified care worker licensure under EPA. They are very good Japanese language proficiency, and so they became regular employees full-time. But some other ethnic groups like Brazilians who were already quitted from other jobs and moved to these facilities, but they don't have any national licensures and a little bit poor language proficiencies. And some other ethnic groups, Filipino, Indonesians, Afghans, are also different visa categories and no national licensures, not so very high Japanese language proficiency. So that's and just part-time. And I also look at some religious aspect under the pandemic for migrant care workers, like Muslim Indonesians. They facing the difficulty to gather the favorite mosque because some mosques are already closed, even open. So they are still afraid to be infected in such places. And in the case of RN, research nurses, they are sometimes required to work at the so-called corona ward, where many corona infected patients are embedded. but some Indonesians say that they refuse because they have to stay at a nearby hotel, but this hotel has no halal food. And also Christian Filipino also difficult to gather at the Catholic Church and a little bit isolated. And so for the Burmese or Myanmarese, you may say, welcome to Japan very recently, because they think that taking care of elderly means accumulative virtue. In Japanese word, toko tsumu. And that's why that Japanese, also mostly Buddhists, welcome Myanmarese for last few years. So the Burmese became the second biggest ethnic group as intern care workers. And also I interviewed with newcomer migrants like Myanmarese, and she said that she is really difficult to go out because employers instruct them not to go out, just stay at home and also working places. But those people who wish to go anywhere, very still young, only 20 or early 20s. So that's why that it's so hard. I also interviewed Chinese students who are studying at vocational school to become certified care workers. Their difficulty they lost part-time jobs like Chinese restaurants, and because it's a close. So they are suffering from financial problems. Also, so I can sum up a problem for those workers. As cluster infection seriously affects the health and the lives of the residents, under the guidance of employers, migrant workers have restricted their private lives by narrowing, limiting their daily scope, their daily activities. This is common regardless of their status of residence or visa. As a result, this causes a lot of stress for them. At a care facility where the infection occurs, Japanese after absent from work, but in some single foreign staff fills the gaps and work a considerable amount of overtime. In some cases, foreign staff members fulfill the gaps and work considerable amount of overtime, but including their presence as indispensable asset in their workplaces. Okay, some other considerations. The vast majority of the EPA care workers have received nursing educations and having RN licensure in their countries. And in some cases, their clinical understanding was clearly demonstrated. As such, they have enhanced their reputations as good advisors and consultants for subsequent foreign staff. And the thousands of technical interns residing in Japan lost their jobs under the pandemic, but those care workers are still working as essential workers and the front workers. And on the other hand, a number of Japanese so-called home helpers taking care of the elderly at home, quitting and resigning because of concerning risk of infection at home, and cause very serious labor shortage. More migrant care workers will be involved in this such home care if the government change its policy, because migrant care workers usually restrict to work in the facilities, not at private home currently. And so finally, I just mentioned that deepening employment crisis. And so EPA, around 300 Filipino candidates who were supposed to enter Japan last year still stand by in their country. Moreover, the number of job hunting for the next year EP project sending country has drastically decreased, around half. And for RN course, 90%, 80% decrease. And Japan's also employment opportunity might be also a little bit decreased. and the decreasing number of foreign care students because many foreign students who become certified care worker to study at vocational schools still cannot come in Japan because of border control. So it's difficult, and they cannot work at part-time jobs at care facilities. And also, you may know the political crisis of Burma and after military coup attempt. So it's a really government is and private agencies paralyzed currently. So the employment of foreign workers is depends on the future prospect of infections and how to control these problems in Japan and the sending country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ono. You just use the time perfectly. So thank you so much. And yes, your presentation bring us many things that's very interesting, particularly culture, religions, worker life, and everything. Yeah, I do believe that if the worker is not happy, how can they give the happy service to the people? So this is that we have to think about. So I think we haven't got a question from the people from the Zoom, but I have one question for you, very short one, and yeah, and then we can go to the next speakers. Is because it's the employment crisis during the pandemic. What do you think that is going to be a family and government to do in order to calm down the situation at the moment?
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Good questions. And yes, actually, the migrant care worker consists still only 1 or 2% of all care workers in Japan. Still, the number is limited. And so Japan government policy is the foreign workers fulfilled some vacancies of the shortage of care, but government now promoting Japanese peoples who lost a job under the pandemic to change their occupation to become care workers. So the government giving a subsidy for such jobless people who want to become care workers and wish to obtain national licensure for certified care worker. So currently that is the situation. But of course, many care facilities are still waiting incoming care workers and begin some pressure to the government to open a little more and flexible and also more strong how do you say test for infections before and upon arrival. Yeah, that is still big pressure, but Japan is facing the fourth wave, so that's why it's becoming a little bit difficult country. But the government wish to also open if once the bigger cluster infections overcome. Yeah. That's
okay. Thank you so much. I think I have so many questions now, but I'll keep it until the end, and then we can discuss later on because we have to spend time for the second speaker. So, Professor Tribudis, are you ready now? Yeah. So, I would like to introduce to you the second speaker today. She's well, we can say that she's a mom of Acap, right? She's a very generous ladies. Professor Tribudi W. Rahajo is a professor at the University of Indonesia and also University of Respati in Indonesia. She has done so many activities about the active aging, about the long-term care, and also she's currently has done the research including the field of aging and dementia, and also age-friendly community and city, and long-term care and quality of life of the older people. So, and she has done a lot of things overseas, including Japan, in Fukuoka, and also in Oxford. So today she will talk about caregiver training to enhance long-term care for the elderly in the era of new normal. So let's hear from her. Professor Tribudi, please.
Thank you very much, Prof. Kaisen. I will be sharing my share screen. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Can you do slideshow so it's gonna be
Yeah.
big? Yes, thank you. Clear.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much. Again, I would like to thanks to the Acap, especially Professor Catherine Brown as our president, that always support long-term care for the elderly in relation with COVID-19. I think I will start with this because we
Sorry, Tribhuti, I cannot hear properly.
we are now 45, and 6% of them are suffering of severe dependent and also total dependency.
I think we have some problem with the internet from Indonesia, so maybe wait for her a little bit.
This secure, then we realized that we have to
Can I share for you, Tribhuti? Can I share screen for you? So she's now off from the Zoom,
I
right?
don't see her on the
Yeah, I don't
screen
see her.
anymore.
Yeah, so can I just go to Professor Okawa and then maybe we can come back for
Yes.
Professor Tribhuti later on. So sorry about that, but yeah, it's gonna be excited to hear from Professor Okawa too. So let me go to the third speakers, and he's a president of specific nonprofit organization, Asian Aging Business Center, also the founder of Acap. He's a father of Acap, I could say that. And he's the first president of Acap too. And he has done so many activities in ASEAN countries, including Thailand, Indonesia. Yeah, the latest one is in Thailand. He's a project manager of preventive long-term care promotion project in Bangkok Metropolitan Administrations in 2018 to 2020. And also he has done the modeling human development and circulation of long-term care workforce in 2019 and completed in 2020. This is very interesting. And he's worked so long
Excuse me. There's some
Professor
problem with,
Tribhuti, can
Yeah.
I skip to Professor Takeo Okawa before, and then you can prepare your internet and
Yeah.
also
Yes,
your
please.
machine
I think
and
yes,
come back
please.
later. Yeah.
Yes, maybe
Okay.
I will be coming later after Professor
Yeah.
Takiukawa.
Could you please?
Sorry for this. Thank you so much. Thank
That's
you.
okay. That's okay. This is good
Okay, thank
for
you.
you to have time to prepare. Let's come back to Professor Okawa, and he also worked so many. Spent a long time for the long-term care, particularly qualification framework for long-term care. So today he will bring to us qualifications framework of long-term care workers for the elderly. Please welcome Professor Takeo Okawa from Japan.
Okay. And wait a moment, and I will share my. Okay.
Yes.
Can you see?
Not the slide.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Come back now. Yes, please.
Why? Hmm?
Yeah, I
Why?
see it now. Yes. No.
Oh, why? Trouble is interest to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Can I share for you?
Okay. Yeah, please share.
Yes. Okay, you stop first and then I'll go.
What?
Okay.
Okay. And the page 2, please.
Yes, yes. I have your slide now. You can
Okay.
yeah, present and I'll click on for you.
Okay. And then
Okay, let's
next,
go.
please. Okay. And first of all, we must think about the states of work in the world. As you can see from this figure, there are still many people in the world who work under self-employment. The ILO is referred to as the informal economy or informal sectors. The many countries also leave elderly care to the informal sectors. However, as the population ages, the works of elderly care can no longer be entrusted to the informal sector. Therefore, my presentation focuses on the long-term care as a profession. Next, please. The horizontal axis shows the differences between caring for the everything comprehensively or clarifying cares as a specific business. The vertical axis shows the differences between entrusting care careers to the informal sectors or formal occupations. When we cross two axes, we can construct 4 quadrants as follows: family caregivers, the volunteers and maids, professional long-term care workers, and high educated gerontologists. Each quadrant illustrated its own paradigms. Today, I will talk about the professional career path on qualification framework. Next, please. There are 3 basic principles for solving problems. The first one is the principles of the market. Paradigms such as self-help, free competitions, buying, selling, wage labors, and winnings or losing are involved. The second method is to distort the principles of the governments. It concerns paradigms such as public assistance, law and taxes, fair equalities, dominance, obedience, draft, small governments or welfare states. The third one is the principles of the community, including families, and paradigms such as mutual assistance, membership fees, donations, gifts, volunteerings, fraternities, sacrifice, etc. as involved. In modern society, however, the basic principles of solutions are overlapped in the areas where the 2 principles overlap. Solution to the problems as shown in the figure is being worked on. The 3 principles overlap to solve problems called collaborations, work creation, sharing values. Today, let's pay attention to long-term care as a profession where the market principles work strongly and also government effort is required. Next, please. In order to solve the problems of long-term care, we can expect family labors and official labors. However, today, the world is becoming a care economy with the population aging. Of course, since the long-term care services is a business related to the life of the elderly in general, we cannot cut ties with families and communities. In addition, long-term care work as a profession basically follows the principles of the market, but at the same time, its life threatened, so it is closely related to the governmental concerns. As the care economy progresses internationally and the phenomenon of the migrant care workers has increased, government would like to consider the active labor policy internationally to improve this situation and the challenges of the positioning long-term care adequately. One of the efforts is the establishment of the qualification framework. Also, we will aim to accomplish creating long-term care for supporting independence as shared values with all generations. Next, please. When each country deepens international cooperation's aims at liberalizing labor migrations and career developments, each national qualifications framework should be harmonized internationally. Facing this challenge, the EU created the EQF, European Qualification Framework, in 2008. The EU wants each country to adjust its own national qualification frameworks under the EQF. EQF is a professional competencies in 8 grades. The criteria for each are the degrees of the responsibilities and the scope of the discretion. EQF defined the knowledge and the skills necessary to demonstrate competencies and developed training programs. From introductory knowledge of care, a common EU programs called the European Care Certificate ECC has been launched in 2006. Traditional nursing care is ranked high in the grade, but health and social care, like the long-term care work, is positioned around level 2 to 4 in the Welsh and the Scotland example. Nowadays, ECC's training best growth is located on level 3. Next, please. Depending on the countries, and the NQF is diverse from 5 to 12 grades. It's necessary to adjust them to the grade 8 like EQF. In 2014, ASEAN took same measures as the EQF approach, and ASEAN gave it the name, the ASEAN Qualification Reference Framework. Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia have issued reports in coordinations with AQRF already. The IQF in Indonesia is 9 grades, but it's harmonized to the 8 levels of AQRF. In Japan, the development of the QF as a whole has not progressed slowly yet. However, in 2012, Japan has implemented at 7 grade frameworks for long-term care skills. However, in terms of knowledge, it's already in accordance with the Act of the Social Workers and the Certificate Care Workers, which was enacted in 1987. People who work in long-term care in Japan are trained up to the level 1 to level 4. Therefore, if Japan accepts care workers from overseas, we will accept them according to the actual situation in Japan. Next, please. Japan has established the certified care workers at the standard levels of professional care. Therefore, it's assumed that they have the knowledge and skills to demonstrate at all the competencies shown in this slide. Under the framework of the bilateral economic partnerships agreements, which began in 2008, were for those accepting the international students, if they acquired certified care workers qualification, their treatments in Japan will be the same as that of the Japanese peoples. The framework of accepting long-term care technical intern trainees, which began in 2017, is not positioned as workers, but there is a strong tendency to regard them as a form of labor in the long-term care work, or some kind of relation. However, since this category is only a practical training, basic long-term care skills are required in this slide, and It includes preventing infectious diseases like COVID-19. And however, the skills in the community comprehensive care are not required. Long-term care as a specified skilled workers, which began in 2018, means accepting it as a labor. However, the working year is limited. If they wish to continue working in Japan, they will be required to obtain a certified care workers qualifications. Next, please. This slide is a diagram of the Asian Health and Wellbeing Initiatives concept of the trainings and the circulation of the foreign long-term care workers in Japan. In those who have come from overseas to receive training in care work, if they are qualified as certified care workers, they will be able to obtain permanent residence qualification in Japan. However, technical intern trainees and the specific skilled laborers were basically to return to their home countries. Ideally, after they return to home country, they will be certified with appropriate competencies based on the qualification framework, and they will be able to play an active role in long-term care jobs in their home countries. However, in order to do so, it's necessary to develop support measures such as the reintegration programs being built in the Philippines and Indonesia, and to develop long-term care jobs. In addition, it's necessary to train the high professionals who will guide long-term care. The top qualification framework trends are required to study higher education, such as university or graduate school. High professionals in care and are required to master gerontology theories. It is higher education and to take charge of developments and policy making in response to the global aging. In the futures, it will be necessary to further promote the international exchange of the highly specialized professionals in care. Let's go back to the slide that shows the comprehensive overview of care work again. Please pay your special attention to the allows. Currently, I think that there are many countries that are still on their way from the upper left upper right quadrant to the lower right quadrant. But what I told was qualification framework story related to the career path about the arrow from the lower right quadrant to the lower left quadrant. The remaining challenge is to develop programs to train highly specialized professionals in the lower left who take responsibilities for instructing the family caregivers and the community volunteers in the informal sector through age-friendly university. Cause one of the Philippine NGOs described it as a community gerontologist training. Like Indonesia Drama Lansia, it will also be necessary to provide guidance for sharing knowledge and the skills about long-term care as one of the literacy that all citizens live in an aging society. In the future societies of the global aging, it needs international effort to improve the quality of professional care work, even if older persons lost well-being physically, mentally, and socially. The philosophy of the long-term care by which they can still live actively is also an initiative of creating shared values around the world. Thank you for your attention.
Sorry, I did not click on
Oh.
this slide. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
This is a, yeah.
I'll go
Okay.
back again here.
I'm sorry.
Is that the one that you summarize for the
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and then I taught this one professional career path on a qualification framework now, but remains and the next topic says how to disseminate the high educated gerontologist knowledge and skill to disseminate to the volunteers and the male caregivers. This is a community gerontologist. Yeah, this is a new frontiers, and also the gerontological literacy for all peoples. This is a new frontiers. I think so. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Professor Ogawa. This is very important thing that how can we go further? Very good, very good. And I think it's many questions from the chat, but I'll just come back later for the questions so that we can talk about that around the topic. Let me go back to Professor Tribudis, and she might be ready by now. So I stop sharing this. These are you okay? Come back. Like you. Because it's when you share and you speak, maybe sometimes the internet might be problem, but you have to tell me to go to the next.
Thank you, Professor Carson.
Sorry.
I will be starting again from.
Wait. You're gonna share by yourself, right? Sorry. Okay. Okay, I think you go to this, right? Hello. Is she now in the Zoom? No.
Yeah.
Okay. So Professor Tribudi, would you like to share yourself, or would you like me to do?
Yeah, we will share. We will share. Okay, sorry.
Tribudi, I think it would be better if Ksorn shared her screen because it would be a better connection if Ksorn shared the slides.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, she did it now. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. I will start again. That prevention of long-term care will be our consideration, and we will start with promotion, prevention, and long-term care. And we are happy because, as Dr. Takyo mentioned, that Indonesia Ramah Lansia has proposed long-term care in the community, and we have such program, and we have also the curriculum for the caregiver training, and we realize that independence for the elderly is very important, and we do collaboration with other sectors, like, for example, sector of health and social. The one that we learned from Japan, from Professor Takio Ogawa, we have 5 levels of caregiver, starting with family caregivers. It is only 50 hours training, and we have also level 1. It is entry level. This is 600 hours training, and we have level 2. This is work under a direction. This is 3 years experience, and experience level 1. And the level 3 is work by oneself with of direction. It is 1 year education from high school. This is high school and also vocational high school. We have level 4. It's not only work. It means that leadership also is part of the curriculum. And level 5 is the professional skills. This is an expert. education from high school or 2 years from vocational caregiver school, because we have 4 years vocational caregiver schools. It is also can be implemented 300 to 600 years training from nursing or maybe for social care. I don't want to read one by one, but this competency including a very basic and also until the health promotion. The one that we would like to add in the core competency is the competency in how to care older people in the era of new normal. This is the one that we have just finished with developing the module of oral care. We collaboration with Japan under the support of AREA. The oral care is a key intervention for reducing the risk of infection, adverse health outcomes, and fatality associated with aspiration pneumonia. We will use this module to insert in the training for the caregiver. And why we concern on long-term care for the older people in the era of new normal, and it will be family training and also community training, because we found that 70% of older people would like to stay with their family. This is the 5 dimension of active aging that we have implemented in the community, but in the near future, this 5 dimension of active aging will also be implemented for the caregiver training, because we realize that starting with spiritual life, we realize that most of the people, whatever the religion, are very concerned on spiritual life, and also they would like to do exercise, and also they will also be engaged in the social activity, and then also gathering. And I'm happy because they still would like to learn and also to share as a trainer and so on. And the main important thing also is that environment is the dimension that should be concerned, both in 7 dimensions of active aging and then also caregiver. This is the basic caregiver competency. If we summarize all the competency, then this basic caregiver competency first is able to have fulfilled daily needs, ADR and IADR, recognize and report elderly people who experience violence, abuse, and accidents, and providing psychological comfort to the elderly, perform simple exercise or rehabilitation, help fulfill spiritual and psychological needs, seek help in emergency conditions, and also encourage independence for the elderly. And again, has been accepted by the government, and we are happy because there's a national standard for the individual service sector and subsector care for service for the elderly. And this is the decree of the Ministry of Manpower. Hopefully, even this is national standard, we can implement this national standard in the international standard. We conclude that Indonesia is facing aging population. Started, and long-term care in the community has been implemented. The national standard comprehensive for the individual service sector and the subsector of care for services the elderly has been launched by the government. In the new normal, several dimension of wellness service and will be implemented in the curriculum is part of long-term care, in which oral care should be considered. Long-term care insurance should be developed because we have not yet developing this, and the commitment of the government in community awareness is relatively good. This is the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you so much to Active Aging Consortium Asia Pacific, Economic Research Institute for Asian and East Asia, Asian Aging Business Center, Asian Aging Business Center, and University of Respati, Indonesia. Thank you so much. This is the Acap group that will be always happy in this group. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Tribudis. Thank you for very thoughtful and meaningful presentations. Yes, you can stop share screen. Yes, we come back. So now it's time for a question and answer. We have got so many questions from the audience on the Zoom, and I might come back to Professor Ono for his questions. Yeah.
Yes.
You still remember Professor Ono's presentations. One question is to ask Professor Ono is that what happened to those caregivers who has registered and home countries is plenty leaving the job or something like that. You have some
yes.
this
Okay.
information?
Yes. Okay. Can you say? Sorry. Just. Sorry. I shut down one other computer because of our audit.
I can hear from you properly. Yes.
Okay. And can I share my document again? Because I want to answer these questions. I want to share my document, my presentation documents.
Yes, try it. Try it now. I made you co-host.
Yes. And it's still ineffective for my sharing my documents. Can I share?
Please try to share.
Okay, just wait a minute.
Japanese.
Sorry. Could you proceed to Takeo Sensei and I'll prepare for my presentation document again.
So, Professor Ono, would you like to me to share your slide again? In which
yes,
slide?
Yes, it's still a little bit difficult. So,
it's okay.
Please
would
proceed to questions addressed to Takeo Sensei before, and I'll just prepare for my showing document. Yes.
Okay. Wait. This is your slide.
This is okay. You can show my slide. Okay,
Can
just
you see?
this. Could you show this graph?
Yeah, which one?
The scheme. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that one. That one. Yes, actually.
This is the last one. Do you want?
Yeah.
You want the
Okay.
last one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one is better. And actually, many candidates could not succeed to take pass exam for EPA National Care Licensure exam. But even they failed, they could change their visa category to specified skilled worker, specified skilled workers. As long as they have a good point in for their exam, even they cannot pass, and they change this another visa, and they can stay for more 5 years, and they try to pass the exam again. Pass the exam again, but also yes, and also many people are still difficult to go back their country because of their border control is very strict. So for this last 1 year, they many of they foreign residents are staying. Foreign residents.
So it's very good. Yeah. So
Yes,
can I
yes.
stop sharing now? Okay.
Okay.
Yes, very
Okay,
good.
please.
Yeah, because
Yeah, okay.
it's we have
And,
another 2 or 3 more questions.
Sure.
So
Okay. Please
can
go
I
ahead.
go to Professor
Sure.
Ogawa for his questions? Professor Ogawa, can you read your question from? Yes, from Susanna, and he's asked about, she said, thank you for sharing this important issue in harmonizing long-term care. As we may notice, those standards training programs are subject to provide care workers working overseas. That will be a good point that they have same standard in providing long-term care as in Indonesia becoming the sending country. In Indonesia, we did not have a standard system in working field. Many care workers in long-term care facility are still utilize non-formal caregiver. How do you think that we can harmonize the system so that they're applicable for local market? Thank you. So, Dr. Ogawa, could you please answer these questions?
Okay, and I will answer to these Susiana's questions. And maybe Japanese society has a responsibility to give some ideas and invest in the new businesses for the elderly in Indonesia. And after the 5 years later, maybe Japan will wish to invest many long-term care facilities for the Indonesian older persons, and this will be some kind of model cases for or promoting the standardized long-term care services in Indonesia. They will employ the returnees from Japan care workers and making some new customized models in Indonesia. I think so. And based on these kind of model cases, and Indonesian society will disseminate these kind of models in all of the Indonesia. This is a next stages of dissemination processes, I think. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you have another one questions. This is maybe from Lilis. Yeah, and what do you suggest to make this happen?
You.
Can you hear or can you read?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and this is a defamiliarization.
You close. Could you please open the microphone?
Okay. Okay.
Could
I'll
you please
answer.
turn on the microphone, please? Thank you. Yeah,
And Lily's
I can hear you now.
questions. Yeah. And I'll answer. Maybe before 2000, Japanese society also the family caregiving is a basic systems for the older persons. But after the employed long-term care insurance systems, we started the familiarizations of the long-term cares. And it's a progressive processes until now. And this is a very important process. And based on the wage labor systems, but wage labor is professionalized in Japan, and also the institutional care is one of them. But we need community-based comprehensive care systems. Then we are now shifting from the institutional care to the community-based care. And this is a new phase in Japan.
Thank you so much. This is very clear. So now, can we come to the question from Professor Tribhuti? Okay. So the question for you is about what is the logistic for getting these trained people employed in to serve elderly, and who pay for them, government or family or through insurance? They're interested about that. Yeah. That's from
Thank you very much.
Kumar.
Thank you, Dr. Vinod Kumar. I will start with the informal caregiver training. For the informal caregiver training, we are happy because Ministry of Health has developed guidance for informal caregiver, and this guidance has shared all over primary health centers in Indonesia. So it means that the training is free for all family and caregivers informal. And the other one, we have, it's called family-based, it's called family-based, conducted by PKKBN. PKKBN is the National Board for Family and Population. They have 11,000 PKL. It's called family-based older people. So they have also conducted training for the family, and using it's just like informal training program. So it is also free. The one that maybe we have conduct in the near future is formal caregiver training. So we are responsible to conduct this in the University of Respati Indonesia, and hopefully it can be also implemented at the universities and the institutions. And I mentioned before that there are 4 levels, level 1 to level 4, and hopefully it will be implemented. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. So all of our 3 speakers can entertain the questions and very well. So I think if we still have 15 minutes, can we open the floor? Maybe the people would like to raise their hand and you can say something or reflect or ask a question. Can we do that, Catherine? Yes,
that
yes,
is
yes.
fine. I see.
Professor Vinod Kumar, please. You can open.
Yes, thank you. You can hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm speaking with a prevailing background in a vast country like India, where there are about 10 million people who are homebound and bedridden. And we also have many type of courses to train the caregivers, but a large number of families are dependent on migrant people who are migrating from the own other corners of the country. And I wanted to find out, particularly from Dr. One, what is the mean age of these caregivers? Because in our experience, the younger people sometimes do not provide that quality of care which a little older caregivers are providing. And again, it is the females who are providing the caregiving little better. And one of the problems that we face from this placement agencies, when they send these informal caregivers, many of them are stuck with their mobile phones rather than serving the elderly people. All day and night, they are just stuck with the mobile with regard to the type of care that young people are providing to the elderly people. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think the question to Professor Ono, can you please?
Yes. I might misunderstand that your questions, but you're asking about the also quality of care from migrant care workers as well. Yes. Yeah. In the case of Japan, we are receiving care workers mostly from Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Indonesia, Myanmar, and Myanmar. And they are almost like Philippines. They are hospitalities, and they are and good, well trained for elderly, because they are used to take care of the elderly or their grandfather, grandmother in their countries. So in terms of respect for the elderly, those migrant workers sometimes are better than Japanese staff, and migrant workers sometimes so that's why that they are not only just alternative workforce, but rather they are good stimulators for Japanese co-workers in the workplace. So that's why that they are really welcome and becoming higher reputations, especially under this pandemic, I think. So that's why that many care facilities wish to employ more migrant workers from South Asian countries, as long as they have a certain level of Japanese language proficiencies And also they most welcome as long as they pass the national exam to become certified, qualified care workers. So that's why the language educations and also care education, the training is very, very important for future of those employments. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. So Thelma now, she raised her hand. So please, Thelma, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you for giving me the floor.
Yeah. Yes.
To show to Takia. I want to ask a relates to both show.
Could you please a bit
This is,
louder because I'm not quite clear about your.
My question is to both. You hear me? Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, about home workers, no home. About the shift from institutional care, community-based. So I'm just wondering, and right now, most of the workers. So how can you do the bridge, a kind of hybrid model?
I cannot pick up the question, but
that means can we use some of the workers in the homes, in the inner homes, to go into the homes of people as both home-based aging and community-based aging? Is there such a move? Or how do you, can you work out? Can you hear me now?
Thelma, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Thelma, but I think what you're asking is there a move to help the migrants, have the migrant workers go into the home? Not only work in the nursing home, but actually go into the community and work in the home. Is there any movement for that in Japan?
Right. That's my question.
Maybe
Thank you.
Sensei might answer, but maybe I can answer. Takeo Sensei, go ahead.
At first, I'll answer. And if the foreign care worker get the certified care worker qualification in Japan, they can engage in the community-based care. And this is a Japanese strategies. There are also the many wives, foreign wives in Japan. They can get the jobs, the home-based care delivery. And this is one possibility. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe also yes. Some comments, and even foreign care migrants become care managers. Care manager is community-based care workers, and some of workers pass this exam and licensure for this care manager. So that's for this care manager. So that's why some also. I did not talk about permanent resident foreign care workers. I know so. I know in my place Filipinos and the Koreans. They are not discussed in my presentation, but they are also, many of them are also working in the communities. because they have the right to engage in any occupations, same as the Japanese. The right to engage in any.
Okay, and then we have about 3 minutes left. So I would like to give 1 minute each for each speaker to say about what to do next for your work, what you want to do next. And maybe in the future, we can contribute or we can cooperate with you. Can I start with Professor Takeo Okawa? Turn on the microphone, please. Okay.
Okay.
Takeo?
Yeah. And maybe this is the start lines and for thinking about qualification framework of care, long-term care. And we need to include the COVID-19 strategies in this qualification framework, how to train the care workers towards the COVID-19 pandemic preventions and strategies. And then we will start the joint research programs with the Kaisons and Tributis, our Japanese side, and including Ono, and we will collect the data from the working places and making resilience of the care or long-term care facilities, and also the these business continuity plan is including the training programs for the care workers. We will find out the good practices and sharing the ideas and disseminate all of you. Yeah, this is the next stage of our trials.
Thank you so much. So now, Professor Ono, what do you want to do next? Apart from this, the study that we're gonna work with Professor Okawa, what do you want to do next?
Yes, yes, yeah, yes, yeah, as I already mentioned.
Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 and actually, I'm deepening my research on migrant care workers and also nurses working in Japan, and yes, and nurses work. Online survey is quite correct. Yes, limitation. So that's why that wish to visit on-site research, and also I can also have a good. I can also have research in Hawaii with great help of Catherine, Karen, and other scholars, and also I wish to compare with those policies in Hawaii, US, other countries, and to propose some improvements or policies, especially under this crisis, to the government.
Okay, thank you so much. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting and very exciting with you. Yeah, so now come to the last one. Professor Tribudi, what do you want to do next about the long-term care in Indonesia? What is your
I think I just rely on Professor Takeo Ogawa. Because since 2013, we have been working together, and we had start with the very, very simple, and we are now going to the standardization and harmonization. And I agree that COVID-19 will be will be part of the caregiver competence. This is the one that we are going to do in the near future. Thank you so much, everybody. And
thank you
to Professor Ono and you. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, passion for arranging.
Thank you so much. So now we come to the last minutes now. So maybe you can get the one sentence or two sentences, but you get so many dimensions, many factors that we have to think about, so we can go further. And I really hope that everyone here can bring something back to your country, and I learned a lot today.
Thank you. And
Okay,
if
so I think I
everyone,
can start.
everyone turn on their camera, we'll
So
take a
thank
picture.
you so much. Thank you, Acap.
Oh, okay.
Turn on your camera, we'll take a picture.
Sure.
Okay, very good.
Take a picture.
Wave. Wave, everybody. Okay, ready? Smile. Good.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Again.
Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, moderator.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye,
you,
thanks,
everyone.
Jason. Thank you.
Have a good
Stuart.
day.
Thank you very much.
Stay
Thank you
safe.
so
See you again.
much.
See you
Bye,
again with the next
everybody.
meeting. Next webinar.
Oh, hi, Laura. Hi.
Hi.
See you
Hi.
again. See you again.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you,
Very
Rob.
nice.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah, thank you,
very
Rob.
much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Hey,
Sonia,
Mbak
for
Yangti.
the
Thank you,
idea of
Yangti.
webinar.
Thank you, Yanti. Thank you, everybody from Ulindo so much. Thank you. Dr. Lily, thank you. Dr. Maria, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Mona, I see you.
Yankee,
Thank you.
good to see you.
See you. See you.
Good to see you too.
Oh,
Everybody.
Yankee.
Bye.
Ah,
Yeah.
hello.
Hi.
I know, we see all our old friends.
Yankee.
Very nice.
Yeah, old friends.
Let's have a
Maria, thank
party
you.
very
Maria,
soon.
hello, Maria.
Dini, get well soon, Dini.
Good to see
Dini
you.
is sick, actually. Get well soon.
Get well soon, Dini.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you.
You,
See you.
yeah, Somia.
Thank you, Sonia, Tribudi, and Chus,
Thank
and
you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you,
yes,
Tafriti. Tafriti,
Yeah,
thank
I'll
yeah,
see you again next webinar.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much,
See
Kaison.
you
Salasa,
again.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Coordination.
I'll attend your webinar. Hi, Kulin. You have an
Hi,
open
Suryani.
video.
Vicky, thank you, Yanis. Luciana, oh my God. Thank you. Alan,
Hello.
I'll leave now.
Hello.
Time for lunch.
Lisa.
Hello, Karen. How are you? How you doing? How's the sun? Are you going?
Tina
Are you going
Rosa.
well?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye, everybody.
Okay. See you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Okay. Take
Bye-bye.
care.